Hello, hello. Welcome back to Upvote My Trauma. My name is Lydia, but you can call me Liz. And today we're going to be reading some Reddit stories about roommates, which, if you've listened before, you know I absolutely hate. So, my kitties are being loud. So, if you hear random noises in the back, that's just my kitties. All right, first story comes from r/roommate problems, and it's titled Roommate Always Trauma Dumping and Talking About Very Niche Interests at Length Multiple Times a Day. OP writes, I became roommates with one of my friends who I wasn't super close with, and I thought it would go well because I thought we were pretty similar people with similar habits. But she is so much more unable to understand social cues than I thought possible. She basically uses me as a therapist for every single problem she has. We hate that. And it's impossible to avoid these conversations if I want to use my kitchen or living room because she will come out of her room if she hears me. She'll stand in the kitchen and stare at me while talking about her extreme trauma while I make food or clean. I generally have never liked people staring at me clean or cook, so this makes it even worse. She'll go from talking about her really terrible trauma to things that aren't actually trauma, such as her parents paying for her entire tuition and giving her grocery money every month, somehow reframing those things as if they are a form of abuse. Okay, meet this kitty. See, are you embarrassed? Are you embarrassed for trying to jump up here? Her name is Little Delicious, but she's not little. Okay. So she'll go from talking about her really terrible trauma to things that aren't actually trauma, such as her parents paying for her entire tuition and giving her grocery money every month, somehow reframing those things as if they are a form of abuse. She definitely doesn't realize how tone deaf this is. She says they're doing it to, quote, invest in her so that when they're older, she can take care of them. But I personally don't see that as abuse, especially because my family is genuinely poor. I work 3 jobs, etc., etc. Just very tone deaf. Stop complaining to me about it. I'll take your parents' money if you want, girl. Facts. Chill the fuck out. She'll even follow me around on campus events and try to keep talking to me about this stuff. This has happened a few times, at which point I do shut her down and walk away from her. I won't let her ruin my time. I wish I could do that in my apartment, but it feels very hard. It also doesn't help that when we were moving in together, I thought we were both kind of introverts, so it would be a good roommate situation where neither of us throws huge parties or anything. But she is genuinely extremely introverted to the point of never leaving the apartment, like ever. Only to go to classes, sometimes, get groceries, or maybe to go to an on campus event. There have also been a few times that I've brought over 2 or 3 of my friends, and she does not like that. I don't bring anyone over anymore because she'll do the same trauma dumping thing in front of them, and it's embarrassing. This is more of a vet post, I guess, because I'm not sure what there is to do other than straight up tell her I'm not in the right headspace to hear about this right now, or something like that, which I'm a bit scared to do, but it will have to happen. She's also moving out for the summer and expects to return as roommates in the fall, but that's absolutely not going to happen. I just have to keep my head down and push through the next few months. I'm really sorry. That, I mean, it sounds bad. It's not the worst roommate situation I've heard of or been a part of, but I think, yeah, you just gotta tell her, like, I'm not in the right headspace for this. I can't deal with this right now. You gotta, take it to one of your other friends. Oh, you don't have other friends? I'm so sorry. Hop online and get on Reddit like me. I don't know. So, top comment is you already know what to say. Set those boundaries. Exactly. Set the boundaries. This, I mean, you're obviously kind of stuck for the situation in the situation right now, but you won't be for long. And she's leaving for the summer. How nice is that? It's going to be a nice reprieve from all of the trauma dumping. How are you mad that your parents paid your whole tuition and give you grocery money every month? Like, yeah, they're investing in you so that you can take care of them later on in life. Not even, okay, they're investing in you, and you should want to take care of your parents later on in life. Like, I want to take care of my mom. I don't see, I don't know, maybe it's because of my family dynamic. We've always taken care of the older generation. Being Hispanic, that's just what you do. Dominican families do that. But so they're using you to take care of them later on in life by paying for you and by taking care of you and by doing what parents should do. Okay. I don't know. I guess I don't see what's wrong with it. If you see something wrong with it, please let me know because I don't get it. That's crazy. All right. Our next story comes from r slash bad roommates, and it's titled My 23 female roommate, 26 female, acts like my insecure girlfriend and I'm losing my mind. OP writes, I moved into a new place for my master's program, thinking the biggest problem I'd face would be coursework. Okay, now she's going on to list like bullet points of what the roommate does. So here we go. 1. Constantly picks fights over nothing. Wants to talk all the time, even when I'm clearly busy. Gets offended if I don't look at her a certain way during conversations. Gives me unsolicited feedback on my personality. I did not subscribe to this. Says I should automatically know what she likes and adjust my behavior accordingly. Plays victim every time I set a boundary. Admitted she's insecure and jealous of me, then started making personal attacks about my voice slash looks. Listens to my private conversations in my own room and asks me about them. Wow. Uses chores like, did you get the Wi-Fi cashback as excuses to engage me. I don't know what that means. Leaves the washroom unclean without flushing. Explicitly tells me that she wishes she had a boyfriend when I talk about mine. Randomly says stuff like, I'm the cleaner one slash better one. Threatens to move out as emotional blackmail. Oh my God, bitch, go. Bye. My body literally goes into fight or flight when she enters the house. I now sing to myself in common spaces just to regulate my nervous system around her. I've bent over backwards, being chill, friendly, and accommodating, and it backfired. She's now criticizing my laugh and personality traits. I'm in grad school. I cannot be losing brain cells over this. Is this normal? Has anyone dealt with a roommate who acts like a jealous partner? I haven't dealt with a roommate that acted like a jealous partner, but I've dealt with jealous roommates, and that's not fun. Like they will they will tear you down slowly. They will laugh at your pain. They will just find joy in anything going wrong in your life. So, my best advice to this OP is try, and this sucks. Either try to whisper your conversations or try to leave the house when you're having a deep conversation on your phone. It's really shitty that you pay rent at a place and you don't even feel comfortable being in your own room. I also dealt with that. There was a space that I lived in that the door was like not really a door. It was like this little glass paneled thing, and then the edges of the door didn't seal. It was like an inch gap on each side kind of a thing. So if you looked the right way, you could see into my room. There was no conversation that was private. It's like if you were sitting outside my room, you were a part of whatever conversation was happening inside of that room. So it does get very, very, very frustrating. You feel like you have absolutely no privacy. I totally get the whole being in fight or flight because it's just a very tense situation. And when you don't have your space, and well, when your space is not actually allocated to you and every space feels like a shared space, there's nowhere to go. So what do? You retreat. You back away. You get away from everyone. And that's exactly what I did. Anyway, top comment. Next time she says she'll move, tell her you think that's for the best. Then stop engaging with her nonsense. Just respond, not interested. Find a better roommate when she takes herself out. Yep. And someone also responds, headphones, the big obvious ones, are all the time. Should be a sign for non engagement. And if she doesn't move, OP, you should. Also agree. Oh, someone asks OP, respectfully, have you told her to stop? And OP answers, yes, and she got defensive. Ugh. Bitch, leave me alone. I would be so mad. Leave me alone. Shut up. Shut up. Dumb bitch. Anyhow. This one has an update. And the update, OP says, after I moved out, ooh, she moved out, yay. After I moved out, she started constantly calling me and hurling abuse over some common utensils, literally worth $20. When I stopped answering, she began sending messages, calling me a bitch and saying I deserve to be treated that way because of my upbringing and lack of civic sense. She threatened me, saying I don't know who she is and that it will not be good for me and she can fuck me up. If I don't mend my ways, and even gave me a timeline to return a jar I accidentally took with me. Girl, go get another jar. Are you that broke? Anyway, I documented everything without responding and informed the management company that I did not feel safe going back to collect my remaining belongings. I considered contacting the police as advised by the management company, but wasn't sure just yet. I went to the house with my boyfriend to collect my stuff. She immediately started charging at me. My boyfriend told her I would stay quiet and she could just speak to him instead. He got her the jar or whatever, and she shouted, saying, couldn't she get it for herself? I don't understand this behavior. She's getting what she wants and still has a problem. I started recording video of the interaction, which seemed to trigger her even more. She tried to snatch my phone in front of my boyfriend. After that, she went quiet. We were able to collect our things and leave safely. Even though I have moved out, she is still harassing me. I do not want to wake up with random calls calling me names. I was patient all along and tried to let go by excusing her behavior as insecurity or immaturity, but I do not feel physically safe anymore. Girl, go to the police. You have everything documented. At the very least, I mean, I don't know if that's grounds for a restraining order. We all know that like nothing really happens until you're dead. But I hope that they can put some sort of safeguards in place, or I don't know if you've tried telling her, hey, I'm gonna call the police. But top comment says, call the police like you should have done the first time she threatened you. You need a paper trail. Yep. And someone else asked, I don't understand why you've not got the police involved. And OP said, I am new to the US and was skeptical of getting the cops slash lawyers involved or getting deported. Yeah, okay, I get it. Uh, you should still call a lawyer. A lawyer is going to be fine. The cops, I would also be afraid of contacting if I was, I mean, I don't know what your legal status is. You're a student. But I guess that doesn't matter. Anyway, we're moving on to the next story before I start talking about other stuff that I don't need to be talking about. Okay. This one comes from r/roommate problems, titled, My roommate keeps opening my packages and somehow I'm the dramatic one for asking her to stop. Well, isn't that illegal? I feel like that's illegal, opening people's mail. Well, I don't know where they are. In the US, that's illegal, bitch. You're going to jail. OP writes, so I don't even know how to explain this without sounding like I live with a toddler in an adult body, but my roommate has this habit. Whenever a package gets delivered, she opens it. Not hers, mine. It started small, like she opened something once by accident because she thought it was hers. Fine, whatever, mistakes happen. But then it kept happening. And not small stuff either. She opened a box with clothes I ordered. She opened my skincare delivery. She even opened a replacement card my bank sent. Like, yeah, that's so weird. Why are you touching things that are, it clearly has another person's name on it. Why are you opening it? Anyway, every time I'd ask about it, she'd just shrug and say she was curious or it arrived while she was home, so she figured it was fine. It's not fine. It's not fine, you dumb bitch. Anyway, sorry. She genuinely doesn't see why it's a problem. She actually laughed once and said, You're so sensitive about cardboard boxes. The disrespect is insane. Last week, I finally confronted her because she opened a package that had personal medical stuff inside, super private. I told her it makes me uncomfortable and I want her to stop touching my mail completely. She rolled her eyes and said, I'm being dramatic and it's not that deep. Then she told me, then she told one of our mutual friends that I was policing the apartment. Ah, the audacity is crazy. Meanwhile, I'm the one paying for the things she's ripping open like it's Christmas morning. And I'm the one trying to be financially responsible. I budget every month because I have actual bills and goals. I don't know how to get through to someone who genuinely doesn't understand boundaries. I'm considering getting a parcel locker or having stuff shipped to my workplace because I can't keep doing this. But seriously, am I crazy for thinking someone opening your mail is a huge violation? Top comment. Girl, what the fuck? Why the fuck would you think you're being dramatic when this is actually a crime? At least where I live. Same girl. Honestly, she's obviously not getting it by talking to her, so just do it back to her. Maybe she'll notice how fucking weird it is. Or, yeah, I think the parcel locker is a good idea. If your workplace is okay with you mailing stuff there, that's fine too. And the next comment goes on to say it is indeed a federal crime, so it is very much illegal throughout the entirety of the United States. Yeah, that is absolutely wild. Yeah, no, nobody should be touching your stuff. You paid for it. It's a card replace from your bank, bro. No way. You got me all the way effed the F up. If you really think that that's gonna fly, don't touch my stuff. Don't open my mail. Why are you in my business? That's crazy. I don't know if you should do it back, but I don't know. Maybe you should. I'm petty though. I am very petty. So part of me says I think you should do it back. Though if it's illegal where you are, then it's going to be illegal when you do it. And she'll probably be the one to like, oh, now I'm going to get the authorities involved because you're opening my stuff. What a trash roommate. Yeah, get the parcel locker, avoid this bitch. Literally don't even give her the time of day to continue doing it. Just figure it out, switch where you get your mail, go pick it up. Wherever there is an option for you to go get your stuff on your own, do that. Okay, so this next one was actually deleted, but it comes from r slash bad roommates. And it's titled, My roommate keeps hosting small gatherings of 15 people every weekend, and I'm losing my mind. OP writes, So I moved in with this girl thinking she was pretty chill. During the apartment tour, she said she occasionally has friends over. Cool, normal, expected. I didn't think twice. But apparently, her definition of occasionally means literally every weekend. And her definition of friends over means a full on mini house party with 12 to 15 people crammed into our tiny living room. Oh, I hate it. Okay. It starts Friday night around 8 p.m. and goes until whenever she feels like. Sometimes 1 a.m., sometimes 3 a.m. Music, laughing, people stomping around, random dudes in our kitchen making drinks like they live there. Half the time, I don't even know their names. I'll walk out to grab water and immediately get hit with, oh, hey, you must be the roommate. Like I'm the weird one for existing in my own apartment. I've tried talking to her calmly more than once. She always says, it's just a small gathering. It won't be like this every weekend. And then, boom, next weekend, there's a new batch of strangers sitting on my couch eating the snacks I bought with my money? Hell no. No, no. Last time, one of them spilled something sticky on the carpet and nobody cleaned it. What's stressing me out even more is the bills. Our electricity and Wi Fi have doubled because her parties turn our place into a full time lounge. I'm the one who ends up covering the difference because I don't want late payments messing up my credit again. Meanwhile, she's running a free club out of our apartment. I'm honestly at the point where I don't know if I should confront her harder, talk to the landlord, or just start looking for another place. Would I be the jerk for putting my foot down, or is she the one being completely unreasonable here? She's the one being completely unreasonable. You've already tried to put your foot down, but it was like a very light tippy tap. What you need to do next is, yes, start looking for another place because this is already, she's very disrespectful and has no boundaries with space. And she thinks that the apartment is hers and you just live there. But you're paying most of the bills. That's crazy. You guys got to set up a schedule. Hey, if whatever you're okay with, it's every other weekend. This weekend, nobody's allowed over. This is my weekend to either have my friends or my quiet space or my thing. But like, set up an actual schedule because then if she doesn't stick to it, if you even want to give her that chance, because I probably would have already talked to the landlord, because I'm sure that they wouldn't be okay with that. Just like people wreaking havoc, parties every single weekend. I don't know. But also, I don't know your landlord. Set up the schedule and look for another place. That's so rude. So, top comment says, I don't think this is going to get resolved. She doesn't respect her roommates and minimizes your concerns. I'd begin looking for another place to live immediately. I don't think things are going to change when you where you presently are. I agree. I think that yes, start looking for another place. Try to have another conversation to like set up some sort of a schedule that's fair for the both of you because you both pay rent. Also bring up the differences in the I guess your Wi-Fi charges you more the more you use. Bring up the differences in what you would pay without these parties in electricity and in Wi-Fi and in what you're currently paying. Because if you're making up the difference, you're literally footing the bill for her parties. And she sees that happening and she it makes it even more okay. There are people that will keep pushing, pushing. What is it? It's called moving the goalpost, right? They'll keep moving the goalpost and they're gonna do whatever you allow them to do. People will treat you how you let them treat you. Don't let her treat you like this anymore. And start looking for another place. I don't know how long your lease is right now where you're at. Whatever. This was only 3 months ago. And I don't know. I'll stalk that OP's profile later if they still have it because it looks like everything was deleted. But yeah, terrible situation. That's so shitty. All right. Next story comes from r slash bad roommates. And it's titled, My psycho ex roommate admitted he put grass in my pillow to, quote, prove I wasn't allergic. That's dangerous. I don't like it. OP writes, About 4 months ago, I was living in a 4-bedroom house in college with 4 other people, 3 girls and 1 guy. The guy was dating one of the girls, and at the time, I genuinely thought they were my best friend. The couple before we all moved in together had literally asked me that when they got married to be the maid of honor at their wedding. This wasn't just a roommate situation to me. They were my best friends and my friend group. Things started going downhill at the beginning of summer after I said I didn't feel comfortable mowing the lawn because I'm allergic to grass. When I'm around it, my eyes swell up, get super itchy and red, and my skin normally gets quite itchy too. I wasn't trying to get out of chores, but I did tell them come winter that I will do a lot of the shoveling as I don't mind the cold and I love snow. For the last few weeks I lived there, I was waking up every morning with red, itchy, swollen eyes. I assumed it was something in the house. One of my roommates, the girlfriend of the guy, knew how bad it was. She literally went to Walmart with me to buy my eye drops because my allergies were so bad. I had also started taking my allergy meds twice a day. I had an air purifier going in my room at all times, and I was either showering or wiping myself off every night before bed, and I was still waking up with red, itchy eyes. Eventually, I decided to vacuum my pillow to try to get rid of whatever was triggering it. While I was carrying the vacuum upstairs, the guy I lived with asked if I wanted to hear something funny. I said, sure, thinking it was going to be some harmless joke. Instead, he casually told me he had put grass in my pillow to prove that I wasn't actually allergic. I just froze. He knew I was allergic. His girlfriend knew too. She had watched me suffer for weeks and still knew about it. Realizing that someone I trusted intentionally went into what we had all deemed as our private spaces within the house, our rooms, and did something to intentionally harm me has been definitely a shell-shocking experience, to say the least. I decided to move out after that. Good. And things somehow got worse. The first time I went back to the house to move all my belongings in my bedroom and install a keypad lock on my door, the guy was the only one home and called the cops on me for trespassing, even though I was still on the lease at the time and legally allowed to be there. The second time I went back was to move all of my things out completely. I had a lot of people there to help me move out, as I wanted to be out of there as quickly as possible. During that visit, they called the cops again, this time for harassment, because my dad called the guy a fucking pussy. 'Cause he is a fucking pussy. That obviously wasn't the best move on my dad's part. I think it was. But no charges were filed and nothing came of it. I do know that this is only from my perspective, and I'm trying to stay as neutral as possible, but I also want to share that they have never apologized once to me and tried to validate their actions by saying I made them uncomfortable by saying I could hear them talking in their room while I was in my bathroom. The 2 rooms shared a wall. Okay, she's letting you know that she can hear you talking, so maybe like tone down like your volume, because she's not trying to eavesdrop when she goes into the bathroom. But if you're being loud as fuck, she can't help it. I'm sorry. I have now been released of my lease and have been going to therapy for the last 4 months. I also now live alone in a studio apartment. I just needed to let this out somewhere because I literally am just so confused as to how he even thought this was okay on any level. Would you have moved out too? 100% I would have moved out. Oh my gosh, would there have been a way? You should talk to a lawyer about that. They were literally putting your life in danger. Are you crazy? Well, you're not crazy. They're crazy. I'm so happy that you're out of there. Yes, in your own space, in your own bubble. And they never apologize. She saw you suffering. She went with you to get allergy stuff because she saw how bad it was. And this apparently went on for weeks. And he's mad. He's mad that he was trying to prove you wrong and he was the one that was wrong. Hmm. Men sure do have a lot of audacity. Oh, crazy. I hate it. I hate it. Anyway, top comment. Putting an allergen deliberately in your pillowcase sounds like battery to me, though I'm no lawyer. I don't know that's battery. So the next comment says, it is illegal. I don't know about battery, but it's definitely some form of assault. Yeah. Putting your life in danger because of the lawn? There's other ways to like, okay, I'm not gonna mow the lawn, but I'll do whatever else needs to be done outside. I'll do whatever you don't want to do inside. She also said she would shovel most of the winter. Depending on where you live, that's a very big deal. Snow comes down heavy in some places, and shoveling and stuff, that's not easy, especially if it freezes over. That's so crazy. I just went through that. But yeah, wild behavior on your roommate's part, completely disrespectful. I hate it. And I'm so happy that you're gone. I'm so happy that you moved out. And you don't have to worry about some fuck face dumbass douchebag putting grass in your pillowcase. You sleep on that. And they let it happen for weeks. I'm just baffled. Okay, you guys, I'm going to stop harping on it because it's just infuriating. Anyway, we're moving on to our final story, which is our palate cleanser because we want to walk through the rest of the day and the week without thinking such shitty thoughts about people. Also, yeah, that's it. Here we go. It's not specifically a roommate story. It's actually very hard to find palate cleansers that are roommate stories. I've only found a handful and they're usually very, very nice, but I hate having roommates. And apparently, so does most of the internet. All right. So, this last one comes from r/wholesome. And it's titled, My Neighbor's Kid Left Me a Note After Seeing Me Walk My Dog Every Morning. OP writes, Every morning before work, I walk my old golden retriever around the block. Oh, Goldens are my favorite pup. I love Goldens. Anyway, we've been doing it for years. Same route, same time, nothing special. Lately, I noticed this little kid across the street would wave from the window every day as we passed. I'd wave back, and that was our whole routine. This morning, her mom came out and handed me a small folded piece of paper. It was a drawing of me and my dog with "We like seeing you" written in crayon. Oh, my heart. That's so cute. I don't even know this kid's name, but that hit me harder than any compliment I've gotten all year. I walked home with this stupid happy grin, holding the note like it was made of gold. I showed it to a few friends in my prize group chat where we play, and even they melted over it. Sometimes the world throws you a tiny reminder that not everything sucks. That note's going on my fridge forever. It would go on my fridge forever too. Or I would put it in like a book. It'd be a little bookmark, and every time I open it, I'd be like, what a cute kid. Ah, that's so sweet. Also, Goldens are a top tier pup. Fight me if you think I'm wrong. Anyways, this was great. Thank you so much for being here. If you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, leave me some comments because I would love to talk to you. If you're listening to me on Spotify, rate me 5 stars and also leave me some comments because I still want to talk to you. Come visit me on Reddit at r/upvote my trauma. Leave me your stories and maybe I'll read them here. But other than that, Thanks for spending time with me. I freaking love you guys. Have an awesome day and bye.